let's go ahead and get our form. What we'll do is we'll cut a slot under the tail. This is for your tail to go in. Some forms have this already made, built in. Cut a slot like so, right here. And then another one here on the neck. Just kind of V this. I kind of went with the, sometimes I can't remember what forms I order half the time, but I like to V this area just a little bit, because that's the way a breast is on a bird. Just bead in a little, like so. Okay, now I'm going to mark where my wings go. I'm going to put the one wing that goes here. This is where I'll put my wire through to tie it all together. And the other one on this side, about the same spot, look down and see. And then the legs are the same way, right about here, and right about here. That way when I put my wire in there, my leg will come back, it'll be flying. It'll look pretty good. We could slot this if we wanted to get that leg to lay in there a little bit, like so. I don't know if it'll do much good. You can't really see that. It's to the inside. Anyway, got our form ready to go. We got our neck material here. Remember, we saved our neck. We're going to go ahead and make a neck the same length. Just about like so. Just like so. So we got our neck at the same length. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our wire. We got our wire right here. Our neck material wire, and we'll use a little heavier for the wing. Maybe not. We'll use this for the wing too. Let me find my snippers. We'll go ahead and put a point on there. Run that neck material. Run that right up through the neck material, real easy. Leave about a couple inches out. What this is going to do is going to go up through the head. Leave yourself about so much here. Sharpen that too. And what this is going to be is this is going to be your neck going down in here. We'll run that through the body here. Right about there where the head would be. Neck joins the body. Grab your your snippers, push that all the way through. See how I'm doing that? Put a little bend in her like so. What we're doing is we're making ourselves a hook, so that'll lock into place here. You see how that is right there? We'll get that ready, and then we'll just go ahead and push that down in there. We'll pound her down in there. What that does is it essentially locks that wire in one spot. And that's going to look good. I got enough wire sticking out. When I stick that up, I can kind of drill that through the head. Okay. Now, we're going to do some wing material. Get into the legs first. We'll do the legs first. Okay. Go here to the inside of the leg. What I do right here, I go right into the pad here. You're going to go to the inside. If you go to the outside, you're going to hit this spur. You'll have a hard time getting it through there. Now, take it easy, and if you got a sharp point on there, don't get your fingers in the way. Keep your fingers back behind there. Press down on your leg bone so everything is even going down here, and you'll be able to run that wire. Got up through the leg. You see that? Okay, I'm going to take and cut just a little bit more meat off of this leg. I got a little bit more meat on there than what I want. Now you see what I got here. I got this wire up through the leg. What I'm going to do is cut this off so I can work around here a little bit. 'Cause leave plenty to work, go through the body. I'll take a little paper towel. This is what I do. Okay. Turn my paper towel in half, and I fold it up like so. Crease it so it doesn't come unfolded. What I do is before I do that, I'll take and put a little borax on here. I want to get that leg bone covered. Okay. Wrap that around the top. Hold that in there tight. And that's going to simulate your leg muscle there. Just about like so. Now I'm going to take my tape, put it around the bottom of that like so. Then cut that baby off. And there I've got my leg bone and my muscle there. Put a little borax on that skin. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn that baby inside out like so. And we're ready to, on that one. That one there is not doing too bad. Okay, we're going to do this other leg. Go ahead and get some borax on there. We'll do that ahead of time here. We should have a little cup with borax in it, but I just do it this way. Okay, what we're going to do, we've got a wire here. We'll get us a nice sharp end on it. I mean, it's got to be sharp. It's got to be something similar to so. You see that? But I'll tell you what, make sure that you keep your fingers behind it, because if you push that out, I've actually run this wire right through my finger before, and let me tell you, it hurts. I'm a firm believer of giving up blood at least once a day for the business. But anyway, we shove that on up there. And I can feel it go. What I'm doing is I'm putting downward pressure on this leg so I keep a straight line. And once I get through the ankle, this joint right here, you pull your skin back down, I can feel this wire right there. So I just keep pushing it up, and it comes up through there. Okay? Got my paper towel here, fold it a couple times. Crease it. We'll just go ahead and make that leg muscle. You can use just tape if you want, but it's anyway. Go ahead and make a wrap around it, wrap or two around there to hold that. We're not doing anything fancy right here on this leg. It's going to be to the inside, so we don't have to worry too much about looks. It's going to look good. What that does is it's going to fill that void up there in the leg. Okay, now what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and shake our borax up. We want to get these wings. So what I do is I turn these wings inside out like so. Get my borax in there. Get some on the bone, the wing, stuff like that. Pull that wing bone back out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this wire. I don't have enough left from that first piece to finish this up. Sharpen her up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through you can go through the inside, follow that down, follow it all the way to the end, and come out right at this wrist joint right here. That's what we'll call a wrist joint. You can come right out there. See how it came out there? You can try to thread it on up in here, but you may not have too good of luck. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make this just a little bit easier for beginners. And you'll see how this is stretched here. You've got to put a little bend in your wire. And I'll show you why we do that. Because this first joint here, no matter what you do, like right here, I'm going to get rid of some of this wire here so I can work. Okay. What we're doing here is we got this bone here. You've got to bend to this bone. Now what you can do is you can put a little tape around here. and that'll hold that against that, hold that wire in on that bone there, which is okay. Cut that off, and that's going to hold that in place right there. We've got this wire bent like so to follow this bone here, the humerus. Now we're going to take another piece of paper. It seems confusing. You get all these wires running around, but take it, tear your paper towel in half like so. Fold her up. We've got this borax. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this paper towel around the end of this humerus bone. And what we're doing is we're building up that wing muscle where we cut it loose from the breast. You could use, you don't have to use tape. You can use, I use a lot of those plastic ties on turkeys and ducks and things like that. You can use those, plastic ties to hold things. But the tape just seems to work out nicer. Now see, I've got this nice muscle here. Everything is ready to go. I just take and stuff that back down in there. And now we'll go after this other one. Now this one here is going to be a little bit different because we have a wing broke here. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and thread this out through there. Okay? We're going to follow the wing. Get this out through the wing. Right like so. Go down through the hole there. Get the wire out of the way here. Okay, now here we go. We're going down through the wing here. Right where it was broke. It was broke right in the joint there. Now what we're doing is we're going down. There we go. Now we're right at the wrist here. I'm going to push that through there. See how it came through? I'm going to leave so much out here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this inside out. We'll see what we got to do here to get this thing so it's... Now, when you run into broken bones like that, you don't know what you're going to run into half the time. I saw it when we were doing this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we got enough there. I got to get this turned inside out this way. So I'm reaching up in there because there's a little tag in the bone here. And I'm going to make a bend there so my... And also what I've got to do is I've got to put some borax down in there. I'm going to force that down into that wing there. You see we have a little tag in the bone here. The humerus was broke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some tape around there to hold that into place. I don't know if I can or not. I'll come all the way up from the other one. I'm going to hold that onto that other one, so we'll just go ahead and we'll make like a cast. Otherwise that bone will dry and those tendons will shrink and that bone will come, that jagged bone will come right on up through there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and leave the tape on there. I'm going to take and make my other humerus muscle here. And I'm going to put it up here where I think it should go. Oh, maybe 2 inches. And when I get it on there, I'll put some tape on there. And I can end up sliding that up and down the wire as I, if need be. I can slide it up a little ways to fill the gap. Or I can slide it down a little bit. Anyway, that's the way that's going to be right there. Broken bones are a little bit different to deal with. They're not as easy. They're not insurmountable by any means. Don't give up on a mount because it's got a broken bone. Some people won't touch them, I know, but that's wrong too. Okay. Now what we got here is we got our bird. We got everything I'm going to get this right up here, down in there. Okay, I'm going to cut some of this wire off because I know I don't need it. All I need to do is go through the breast of the bird. Okay, I got both wings wired. I got both legs wired. Now when you put these wires in, you want to make sure your legs aren't twisted or your wings aren't twisted. Things like that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get our head out here. Remember, we got our head here. We've got to do the same thing here. We've got to preserve this head. So we'll dust her with a liberal, put some in the skull cavity, a liberal amount. We want to push some down the neck. Get all around there good. Eye cavities, everything. And we're also going to do from the inside, we're going to do this neck. And what we do is open up that hole and just pour a liberal amount in there, just like so. And I got it coming out, so. These are flex eyes. They're Wayne Cooper flex eyes. I've had good luck with all my ducks and pheasants using these. What they are is they're a little bitty, they got a capsule with them, okay? That has that red ring around the eye. Okay? You see these capsules? They got a little piece of foam that goes in them. Both of them. And then they also have your eyes right here. And they go inside the eyes. Now you can wait until after you mount it up to put them in, but I like to get everything set. You see that? Okay, now when you mount your bird, this would be the right side of the bird because the eyelid comes down like this. You wouldn't want it like this going up, so we'll make sure we get that in on the right side. So we got the eyes ready to go. Okay. Now what we do is I want to put some in the skull cavity, some clay. And what this will do is fills up that skull cavity, gives me some, when I put my wire through there, gives the wire something to go through. Okay, now we're going to do the eye cavities. You know, fill those up. If you run into any extra juice, just put some of that in there. Fill that up. We'll see what it looks like after we fill it up about like so. We'll see what it looks like after we get some in there. You remember how big those eyes were? I mean, they were huge. So you got a lot to fill up there. So what I'm doing, I'm looking at this, trying to get her fairly close before I even put my eyes in. Now what I'll do, that's the left one, I'll take my right side eye, put it right, I can feel that socket right there. Put it in about like so. Take some clay, put it around there. Okay, now there's your eye right there. Now we'll go straight across from that and do the same thing. Just go ahead and press her in, like so. Make sure, now see I got this one back a little bit. Make sure they're about even here, right across from each other. We can push those in after we get this head on. We can still add a little clay to it if we have to, but put some clay around those eyes right now. We can always push them in or pull them out a little bit. Okay, now we got this back here. Now what we want to do is we want to fill in where the tongue was. Okay, we got quite a gap here, so we'll take a piece of clay and make a triangular piece like so. We're going to lay that right in here, go up under the feathers here, and just go ahead and mate that right in there with that. And now what you want to do is you want to take that skin and pull it back over the top. Now you're going to have, it should go, you got to work at it. Don't be kind of gentle with it, because you've added clay, you've added the muscle back. Sometimes you add a little bit too much, it gets a little bit tight, but we're going to get her. Yeah, we're getting there. Just takes a little time, just pull it back easy. See how that come back? Grab it by the beak. Keep pulling. If you have to, you get yourself off. We're looking for our eye here. There's our eye right here. What we'll do is we'll get our little, get a little pointy thing here, like a needle, or a pin, a T-pin. Go ahead and pull this back here to where that eye is. You can see me working on this eye. Press that in. If it looks like it needs to go in, put it in there. That eye might be bulging out too much. Might be in too far. What we're going to do is we're going to try to get it here. Get it to where it fits. You have to work at this because you got to stretch that over the top of that outer ring on that eye we put in here. Sometimes it takes some doing to stretch that. We're going to get her. Okay, I got the bottom in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top. Sometimes you just have to keep a little bit at a time. Take your pin and pull that. There we go. Then just mold your clay. Push it down in there, or mold it to fit the head there. Just like so. See that? Now what I'll do later, after we're done mounting this bird up, I'll come back and we'll adjust those eyes, make sure they're straight across from each other here. It's got the right bulge to it. Get this eye in here. Working at it, moving that eyelid around. See, we're over that front corner here. And that kind of helps lock that in there when you pull to the back. Gotta get over that lip though. Tuck your eyelid down, your bottom eyelid down in there. Okay. We got that. I'm molding the clay a little bit. Now we'll come back for that after we get this thing done. Okay, now we're going to put the wire in for the head. We're going to put the body in. We're going to run this wire up the neck, and we're going to run that out through the top of the head. We're going to go in through where the spinal cord goes into the head, and we'll be able to do that. We'll just get that started in the hole here. Now if you have to, you can make a little bend in there to get it up through the neck, but you should be able to get it because we cut the bottom here to make it easier. And I've got this, okay, I've got this. Okay, make sure, okay, see that? Now see how we got that thing going there? Now I can find this hole right in here, right at the back of the head. And there, I'll tell you what, that's not, now I hit that the first time because I know where it's at. But what you do is you kind of go up at an angle, and you want to come out through the top of the head. And the best way to do that is to go ahead and grab your head and just go like a drill. Just go back and forth. There we go, we're coming out right now. You see that? We're right here. Okay, now pull your neck down, your feathers down. pull your head down, just like so. Okay, put her down against, make sure your neck material is in here, in your little V on your body. You've got the neck, you got the head right down against the foam neck material, so you know you're in the right spot. Now what I do is I take and I bend this back. And what that does is that'll keep that head from falling off while you're working today. Okay, now what we're going to do is, let me move things around here. We're going to go ahead and put the wings in. Now you see I've got the hole right here. Just kind of stretch that out. Go through the hole that you made, the little dimple. What we're doing is we're just going ahead and we're going to go and this is that one that's kind of screwed up here. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. And you just pull that up until you think you've got it in the right spot. And just go ahead and bend her over, like so, and bend her in there. What you want to do is you want to lock that into place. Give her a few taps. Doesn't matter. Okay, now we're going to do the other wing right here. We're going to go into the hole, the little dimple we made, right there. Let me get this unhooked into paper here. This is sometimes kind of difficult. I'm going to bend this wire. I better get a sharp point on it first. I'm going to cut a little bit off because I want to. Okay. I'm right in that dimple. I'm going to press that right up on through there. Now if you can't get it to go, you get your pliers out and grab that wire and you can put more pressure on it. I'll show you right like this. Just go ahead and sometimes it's hard to pop through. See, we come out right here. Sometimes it's hard to pop through, and we'll go ahead and pull that up till your wing material is tight there. And we're going to go ahead and bend this over, like so. Tighten that down. And now we got our wings set. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to do our legs. Legs go straight on through. You can. What I do is I go from one side right to the other. Come out. Go up to your leg material where your leg joint is there. Cut off the excess. Leave yourself enough to bend over, like so. Drive her home. I've got my wing, I've got my leg here. We're ready to go. Okay, now we got this last one to do. Last leg. Gonna go in where I made my dimple here. You can go straight across, go where you made your dimple. I made it right there. So, okay. Now, there I am. I'm right where my dimple is, right there. I'm going to go ahead and bend this over, drive her home. Get rid of this material here. Okay. And what that does is that'll lock that into place, so when you go to move your legs in that, they won't move all over. Okay, we got our legs. We can keep those spread apart. What we're doing now, we aren't going to worry about this tail. What we're going to do now is we're going to stitch this baby up. We're going to get him in there, and then we'll come back. We'll do the stitching here. Let me find my needle. Get some thread. This won't take long. I'm going to start at the top here, the breast. It's just like anything else. Birds, you can, it just, they got a fragile skin, so you got to kind of watch them. The main thing is try to keep your feathers out of the way. A pheasant, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch stitches is fine. Kind of go to the outside and do everything just like before. Take a couple of stitches and then tighten her up. Do a couple more stitches, tighten her up. I got one stitch there. This is my second stitch. This is my third stitch. Now I'm going to tighten her up. Pull that thing tight. That'll start pulling things together for you. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Pull her tight. See how it kind of pulls everything together there? We're just going to keep going right down the line here. Sometimes your body might be a little big or a little small. You can have a little gap there if you need it, because feathers will hide a lot. Anyway, make sure your feathers aren't tucked underneath your. Sometimes when you move your legs and that around, you'll catch that skin down in there. You want to make sure that you're out of there. And you can pull things together nicely. This bird's going to turn out fairly nice. You know, what you do is, this is the customer's bird, like I said. This is what I wouldn't, if I was going to do a show mount, you're talking a whole different ball game. You just, it takes forever to do a show mount. That's why I don't do a lot of them. I don't have time. If I had time, I probably would. I'd enjoy it a lot more, but like they say, a lot of times ribbons don't pay the bills. You can command a little more money if you got the ribbons, I guess, but I just don't have the time. Time to earn a living. Just because you go to a taxidermy school doesn't mean you're going to get out and set the world on fire with your taxidermy skills. I'm down to my last stitch. I'm pulling that up there. Got her. Some of them promise the world you'll get out, be able to go earn a living. Very seldom does it ever work out that way. Your legs bend certain ways. This one here is just flying, so your back belly's going to be in. Okay, now what we're going to do now is we're going to sew up underneath his chin where we get that out of the way, and then we can just go ahead and decide, get him up on a board, into position, and then we'll dry him some more. And then we'll get everything looking good, and then we'll get his wings and tail carded. Anyway, I'm going to turn him around so I can see a little bit better here. Just do the same thing that you do any other sewing job, only on the bottom of the neck here. I'm going to use 1/4 inch stitches or so, because I don't want this to come apart. You may see a little bit of this neck, because when we mount it up, it's going to be turned slightly. So, we want to make it see it happen, okay? Get the feathers out of the way. Tighten up. just give it a little tug. If it looks like it's slipping or isn't getting in there good, give it a couple little tugs. It'll settle in. I'm down to, let's see. Okay, I'm down to almost my last stitch right here. This is my last stitch right here. Okay. This is what I do on my stitches. Okay. Got my last stitch. The line that come through, I go to the opposite one. Not the last one, but the other one. Put 2 loops around there. Come up through. Pull it slowly down till it. Get the feathers out of the way. Pull it slowly down until it snugs up. And cut it off. You can cut the tag end off later. Okay, now what we got is we got our bird. We're going to go ahead and get him dried out here. We'll just dry him out a little bit. And then we'll work on him. I'll get him up here and it'll only take a couple minutes to dry him out because we're pretty close. Once you start seeing the fuzz at the bottom of the feathers here start getting fluffy, that means you're about dry. See that? We're doing pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and we're just drying him now.